tutorial we would talk about Django. So Django is a Python based web framework. So in this tutorial we will learn about what requirements we need to have on our machine to run Django. So what tools and code editors we require to have so that we can run Django on your local machine. So before I start, I would like to show the content we are going to be covering in this video. So first we will discuss about Django by the official documentation of the Django. Then we will talk about the tools and code editors, what we require them and why we need them. And then we will talk about how the steps to install Django. So these are the steps how we can install Django and how we can start or create a Django project and a Django app on our local machine. So Django is a high-level Python web framework that encourages rapid development and clean, pragmatic design. So it was built by experienced developers. It takes care of much of the hassle of web development, so you can focus on writing your app without needing to reinvent the wheel. It's free and open source. I think that Django is usually based on MVT pattern, model, view, template. So this I'm referring to the official documentation of the Django. So it says there is a model layer. So model layer is used for structuring and manipulating the data of your web application. So the M stands for model, and this model layer is used for structuring and manipulating the data of your web application. The next we have is the view layer, and the view is responsible to encapsulate the logic responsible for processing a user's request and for returning the response. So all the business logic is encapsulated inside the view layer, and it is responsible for building the logic and how the user can request and how you respond to that particular request. So this is all about in the view layer. So next we have is the template layer. So template layer provides a designer friendly syntax for rendering the information, so how you want to present the data to the user. So all the front end part, that is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, is there in the template layer. So how you can design your front end parts, how you can want to show that data or you show that design your page to the user, is all defined inside the template layer. Before we create a Django server on our local machine and we run it on our local machine, you can go to the official website of the Python. You can move to downloads, and according to your operating system you can download Python. And please make sure one thing here, that when you have downloaded the Python and when you run the installer, what you have to do is you will get a window like this on your screen, and it says like install Python 3.6.2 a 64-bit version. What you need to do is make sure to enable this option, that add Python 3.6 to path. So because this would add Python 3. Any version you are using, that is type Python 3.x, the x could be 3.5, 3.6, 3.7, 3.8 to the path, and you can access Python via command line. I will show this you. Yeah, I would open the command line. Yeah, this looks better with a good font size. So what I want you to do is, now when you have installed Python on your local machine, you just need to type Python. It says Python 3.8.1. After downloading and installing Python to your path and running Python from the command line, you can move to SQLite Studio. And the SQLite Studio used to interact with the SQLite database. Initially you are going to work with SQLite database in Django. So you can, this provides you a graphical user interface. So you can click on this link, download Windows binary, open in link. So I'm opening this link in the new tab. So what you can do, according to your operating system, you can download the file from here and install it on your machine. Next, what you can do is install Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code is the code editor we are going to use for this series. We are going to use Visual Code Studio because the best part of this is that it has an integrated terminal inside it. So I can show you this thing. Like this is the Visual Studio Code, and like we are doing some projects, so we can interact with the Visual Studio Code as well. Now in third part, like we have covered the A and the B part, and in the third part we are going to see steps to install Django. So what you can do is open your command line. I would recommend you to run this command pip. Pip is a Python based package manager, so it helps you to install packages and libraries externally via command line. So what you need to type is pip install Django. So this will install Django on your machine, but like I have already installed Django on my machine, so it might tell me that requirement already satisfied because I have already installed Django on my local machine. So to check this, what you can do, I would recommend you to type Python. So Python has been run by a command line and now type import Django. Now then next you can type Django dot version. So this will return me the Django version which has been installed successfully on my machine. So that this looks great that Django has been installed on my machine. So first what you need to do is pip install Django, and you need to run this command. So next time we are going to work with Visual Studio Code with the integrated terminal. So after opening your terminal, what you need to do is move to desktop, then move to that folder CD programming knowledge. So I am inside this folder, and now I'm going to run directory command. So it shows me that a hello.py file has been and a folder called notes has been there. So what I need to do is Django admin start project. This could be any project name you want to give, my project. Now I would run the directory command. So this says my project there is a folder called my project which has been installed in the current directory, and this is due to this command Django admin start project my project. So oh yeah, you can here see that my project has been installed successfully. Now the Django project has been created, and if you want to start a app, so as I mentioned earlier, that inside this there is a manage.py file. So you can run this file via command line if you specify Python as a prefix to this file name. So in the same way we can run this manage.py file via command line if you use Python as a prefix. So what I'm trying to say is, like, you move to the inside the Django project folder, which is my project named here CD my project. Now what you need to do is run the directory command. So there is a file called manage.py. You can run this file if Python manage.py. So you are able to run this file, but in addition to this, I'm also specifying something start app, and it could be my app. So let me clear one thing here. Yeah, so it's a bit so first I created I was inside my programming knowledge directory, then I created a folder called my project. So this is a Django project. So inside a Django project I created an app which I am specifying like this, Python manage.py. Inside the project folder I'm trying to create an app with the name my app. I want to tell you one thing, that inside a Django project there can be multiple apps. So, or we can say like there can be multiple apps inside a single Django project. Okay, so like by using this command we are going to create an app. So I would say Python manage.py start app my app. So when I move to my folder I would say my app. So my app has been created inside my project folder. In the same way I can do one thing extra. I can do my app too. Oh, so this also works. So like what I told you, that inside my Django project, single Django project, I have created two apps. One is my app and another is my app too. So what I wanted to tell you, that inside a single Django project you can create multiple apps. So far we have moved to this. Now in the last one, what you are going to run, if you want to run the Django server on our local machine, what you need to do is you should be inside your project folder and type Python manage.py run server. So this says Django version 3.0.1 using settings my project.settings starting developer server at this, and this is 127.0.0.1, and this is the 8000 is the port number. So I want to tell you that this is your local host address till 127.0.0.1 and 8000 is your port number. So either you can copy this address or you can simply do one thing. Since 127.0.0.01 is your local host address, what you can type is simply type local host and specify the port number, and port number was 8000. So this would, okay, now you can see this page is being loaded here. So what we can do, we can quit the server with the control break command. I think there seems any issue with this. I would again run this command. Okay, so this shows that this has been, now it has been started on my machine. So now this has, so this is the, so you have to use this command python manage.py run server. So this has started the server on my local machine with the address 127.0.0.1:8000. So this means that that address was localhost and the port number was 8000. I had simply typed localhost colon 8000. So the server is running successfully. So the install worked successfully. Congratulations. So from here you can refer to the Django documentation, tutorial, a polling app, Django community. So till now we made a Django server on a machine and we were able to run that Django server on our machine. So in the next tutorial we will cover with the request and the response part. So thank you so much, guys. So this is our fourth tutorial of our Django series. So like in the previous 3 tutorials, I showed you how you can create a Django project, how you can work with the, how you can initialize the Django app, how you can work with the request and response part. So if you have any doubts regarding to that tutorial or you have missed anyone, so you can refer to my previous 3 tutorials. So I again welcome you all to Programming Knowledge. So like in this tutorial, we are going to basically work with templates. And in this tutorial, we are going to work with templates. And basically I told you that Django is based on MVT pattern, model, view and templates. So models are based with your database and views are based on your business logic part, and templates are based on on front end. So models are based on your database, views on business logic and templates for front end part. So what you can I want to tell you that for front end part, basically we are going to use Bootstrap. So Bootstrap is world's most popular framework for building responsive mobile first sites. So I would show you the responsive nature of Bootstrap as well, because if you are making a web application and what you want to target an audience. So what you want to do is that if someone is using a web application on a desktop, then some another day someone might use on a laptop as well, tablet, mobile phone. Like there are various screen sizes, so you want your application to adapt that screen size. To adapt that screen size, Bootstrap is used. So this would make your content responsive in nature, and it would adapt to the particular screen size of the user, and this would help you to for a faster development as well. So it has all the predefined CSS, HTML, JavaScript libraries, and we will be using these templates, and I will show you how you can use Chrome developer tools to edit your pages, and you can be sure about how you can create your pages as well. So the first thing you need to do, like this as I mentioned, how you can go with the repository. And the second thing you need to do, you need to move into your settings.py file, and before this you need to create a 2 folder, one with the name templates, another with the name static. So templates and static are the 2 folders you need to do. So first I would move to my project directory. So this directory is same as the GitHub repository. So I would create a new folder named templates. So this is the first folder I have created, templates, and the second one which I am going to create is the static. So static basically is working with your static files. It could be any static file. So basically, just for an example, you have an image which is a raw image, and you need to use it multiple times. So you can store a raw image in your static folder, so in order to display in your web page as well. So 2 folder, templates will be having your HTML files, and static is going to have your raw files. It could be in any form. So after creating these 2 folders, what you need to do is to add them in your directory. So the first thing you need to do is you need to move to your settings.py file, and one shortcut I would show you, that inside VS Code you can type Ctrl+P and move to any file. Suppose I have to move to this urs.py file or models.py file, let this be file. So I would type models.py, and it would give me some recommendation about, and I would click on it and I would move to this file. So in this way I will again move to settings.py file. So this is a very interesting shortcut. So under the installed apps I have mentioned my app, and under the directories templates what I need to do, I have to mention my current path where my templates are stored, because all this list is basically associated with the templates directory. So I would type os.path.join base directory, templates. So this would join my folder that I'm telling that it could be any OS environment. I would join this from base directory to the templates, so this would connect with this folder. So my project is now connected with this folder. The second thing I would need to do is the same thing I need to do for the static files, but this is a little different. So I have to first mention the list static files underscore directories. So this is the list, and I would be using this. So you can see that these are almost same thing, os.path.join base directory underscore templates, and another is os.path.join base directory static. So what I can do is os.path.join base directory static. Okay, so this looks good. So I will run my server. So till the time I would show you one thing, that my servers were working fine, and I had made some URLs, like in the previous tutorial I showed you how you can make the request and the response part. So just to be sure about this, I would move to localhost :8000. Okay, so it says hello world, and I showed you like you can create an URLs as well. So like in this we are going to create a URL. So first thing you need to do is move to your templates folder. So these are the two folders which I made, templates and static. So inside your templates folder you will create a new file and name it as index.html, and you would make this file and open this file. And what you are going to do this inside your index.html file, you are basically create your first HTML page, and what you are going to do is you would move to the Bootstrap website, and you would go to the getting started, then introduction, and now you would first pick the starter template, because this would be very helpful. You can copy this and paste this inside the index.html. So like you can see that it has the whole HTML structure, and it has all the JavaScript libraries predefined, as well as the CSS libraries as well. And you can note one thing, that these CSS files as well as the JavaScript files has been kept online, so anyone can use this CSS and JavaScript files, because these are predefined in Bootstrap, and anyone can use Bootstrap to make your web application responsive. Okay, I would change this title to Learn Django, and basically I would save this file, and basically the title is this, what you can see above here, the introduction, Bootstrap, GitHub, Pro software developer. Like this is your title. So learn Django, and I would say change this hello world Django project. Okay. So what you can do is you can move to your urls.py file, and you can define a URL to render your page. So just for example, I would define path my first page, and I would call views dot my first page. and I would give this a name, my first page. So I have created a path called my first page, and I would call the function my first page from views, and I have this given a short name to this URL as my first page. So this is throwing me an error, and why is it? Because I have not defined my first page function inside the views. So I would move to my views.py file. So there, my first page, it is taking a request as a parameter, and this time, like in the previous two tutorials, I showed you that there can be various types of responses. One is HTTP response, JSON response, but this time I'm going to render a HTML page. So I would say return render request, comma, index.html. So this would render the HTML page, and when I would move to this URL, so this would show me that page. So I'm inside my localhost, and I would say slash my first page. Okay, so yeah, it's fantastic. So what you can see that it has rendered the first page. Now I'm showing you two shortcuts. The first one is Ctrl+U. So this would show me the whole front end code. So this is the first shortcut you can use. I will repeat, Ctrl+U. Okay, and the second one is you can use inspect element. Okay, and you can see now the responsive nature of this. I can show you that this is like Chrome developers tool, and you can use this to work with the front end part of your project. It is very good. Okay, Galaxy S5, iPhone 5. Okay, this shows the responsive nature, laptop screen. So this will be laptop. So what I can do is move to Galaxy S5, and I would inspect this, and I would element.styles, I would change color is equal to red. So this changes the color of this heading to red, but this is to have a view of your project. But as soon as I refresh it, because this is temporary, you do this, you can do some temporary changes to have a look. But as soon as I refresh this page, this is vanished. So you can use Chrome developer tools to have a look at your front end part. So I would continue with the lecture, and I will tell you how you can work with the backend logic and integrate it into the front end part as well. So thank you everyone. So this is our fifth tutorial on our Django series. Like in the previous 4 tutorials, I showed you how to create a Django project and a Django app. Then how you can work with the request and the response part via URLs. And in the previous tutorial, that was the fourth one, I told you how you can connect your front end part with your back end part, how you can create a template folder as well as a static folder. And one thing I showed you, then how you can render an HTML page, then how you can work with the Chrome developer tools, how you can work with the responsive design of Bootstrap, and why we use it. And one thing you can do here is, now we are going to work with templates. So basically templates are our HTML files, and we can reuse them to render the backend logic into the front end part. So first thing I'm going to show you that in previous tutorial we created a page. So this is the page we created in the previous tutorial. So I would type Ctrl U, and this is a shortcut to see the front end code. So this is the whole front end code, and what noticeable we can notice from this is that this front end code will always like the same HTML structure. We are going to use it in a different file as well. We are going to, like, suppose in order, like, I'll give you a practical example. Like this is a navbar, and like this navbar is going to be common in all the pages. So when we move to another page, so this navbar will remain common, and this HTML structure will also remain common. So what can be different? The content of that page might be different from the another page, and it will be different, and the title can be different as well, but the basic HTML structure and the nav bar and the footer will always remain common to every page, because nav bar is something you will help your application from to navigate from one page to another, and you won't copy the nav bar every time you make a new page. So that front end code will always be common to all the pages, and we can make this with the help of these things, which are extends, block title, block content, end block. I will give you a practical example how you can use it and what is the importance of it. So first, inside my templates folder, I would create a new file. That is, the first one is index.html is already there. Then I would create second .html. Okay, now I have created second.html. I have to provide a URL to access this page as well. So I would copy this path and paste it here, and instead of this first page, I would do this as second page. This is my second page, and I would also second page, and this is, I would also change this second page. So to be just quick, I did this. So I have provided a new path, my second page, views.my second page, and have named this URL as my second page. So it is throwing me an error. Because why is it throwing me an error? Because till now I have not defined my second page inside my views. So I would go back to my views.py. So like the previous, there was one of my first page which used to render an index.html. I would create a second page as well, my second page, which would take request as an input parameter and would return render request comma second dot html. So I told you, like, this would I have created a second.html page in my template folder, then I provided a URL, then a view function to that URL as well. So when I move to my page, my second page, okay, so I'm to my page, but till now it's blank, so nothing is there in that page. But what I wanted to tell you, if you view the source code of the front end part, it's still now blank. So this shortcut was by Control plus U, and this is the source code of the first page. So you want all this thing to be common in that page as well. Okay, before I do this, I would show you one thing as well. I would copy this nav bar. Okay, I've copied this navbar and I would paste this in my index.html. Okay, please make sure this is index.html. Okay, this is index.html. And when I move to my first page, okay, I will move to my first page, So this is the source code of my first page, and this has been updated because it has a nav bar in it as well. And when I move to this page, okay, now this looks pretty cool. Okay, so what I told you, that inside my first page, I have given a nav bar, and what I will do, one thing also, I would change the title as well to make sure there is no confusion. My first page. Okay, so this looks pretty fine and pretty cool till now. Okay, and this is my first page, and what I need to do, this is my first page. Now I would move to the second.html file as well, and inside my second.html file, what I will do, I would type percent extends index.html and I would give this as a percent command. Okay, so this would, when I move to the second page, so yeah, this is my second page as well, and you can see this has cloned all the things which were there in the first page as well. But I need to take care about one thing, that my title should be different. So I would move back to my index.html, and inside this I have to mention the title in this way, block title. And because when I might move to another page, so I would type percent block title and percent end block. Okay, and inside my second.html I would repeat this as well. So just to be quick, I would copy this, I would copy this. Okay, this looks pretty fine. So I would open both the pages. This is my second page. Okay, and I will open the first page as well. So this is my first page and this is my second page. So you can feel the difference here, that within 2 lines of code I cloned all the HTML structure as well as the navbar from index.html to second.html, and I provided 2 routes to them. One was my first page with the name, with the title my first page, and another one with the title my second page. So this looks pretty good. And what you can do now is, you want to change the content. So inside index.html I would move this h1 directory inside a content. So I would name that first page as well. So I would type percent block content and percent end block. So when I reload my page, so this is my first page, so it says hello world Django project first page, and when I refresh this page, this is also says hello world Django project first page. But I want to change this content, this particular content, block content. So I would do one thing, I would move back to the second.html and I would type percent block content and again end block, and I would type this, give a h1 heading, second page extends first page with a common nav bar. This should work fine. So see the magic. Now the second page extends first page with a common navbar, and this is my first page. Okay, and this is my second page. So you can feel the difference. Like inside my first index.html, but the only thing was the driving force. I would open this and show you that the content of this page is here. This is the h1 line, and this was the content of the first page, and inside the second page this was the content. Okay, but you can see that all other things are common, with the title being different and the content being different. Everything is common. So
what I wanted to tell you, show you that when you use the extend functionality of the template with the, I think with the 3 or 4 lines of code, you can clone the first page, all the HTML navbar from the first page to another page, and this will reduce your HTML code as well, and this will help you to make dynamic HTML pages in for future. So what you need to do is you need to create index.html, then you need to define a dynamic block title to it. So okay, this looks fine. Then you need a dynamic block content to it as well, and you need to extend this in the second page as well with the help of this line. Okay, so with the help of only 4 to 5 lines of code, we were able to extend the first page to on a second page. So in the next tutorial, I'm going to work with Django templates as well. I'm going to show you more functionality of it. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And in the previous tutorial, I showed you how you can use extend as a function to extend your basic template to the other pages as well. So I even showed you, and in that previous tutorial to that one, I showed you how you can render an HTML page, and this is going to be continuation to the Django templates as well. And in this, we are going to work with how you can work with Django templates in order to render more things on your front-end application part. But this time we are going to use 2 things. One is going to be the for loop, and one is going to be the if-else part. And before this, I would show you how you can pass variables to your front-end application, front-end part of your application using the context function, and how you render your variables using a dictionary. So you will get to know all this in this tutorial. So let's get started with it. So first thing I'm going to do is going to define a path. So basically I'm going to define a URL, my third page, and I would call a function views dot my third page, and I would name this as my third page as well. So I am using this naming convention so that in order you get a brief overview, like this is the third page we are working on. So first I will run my server on my machine. So this is throwing me an error. Why is it so? Because till now I have not defined my third page function in my views. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move to my views.py file and define my third page, which take request as a parameter, and basically it is going to return and render request and third.html. So basically till now I have not defined third.html yet. So what I'm going to do is going to my templates folder, and inside I'll go to second.html. So I would quickly copy this and create a new file. I'll paste this and I'll change this as third, and even I'll change this also as third. Now I'll save this as third.html, and I hope this will work. And I'll move to my localhost. Okay, this server has started my third page. So you can here see the title is my third page. So third page extends first page with a common navbar. So I told you how you can quickly extend one page to another using an extend function. So now I would tell you how you can extend variables. Actually, you are going to extend variables to the front-end application using the context function. This is going to be very pretty good and pretty easy also. So what you can do, you can simply create a variable. I'll create a variable of a data type string with the name hello world. Now what I am going to do, I am going to define my dictionary, and what what variable you want to pass. Okay, just to be on an easy way, this is a key value pair. So basically you are passing the variable var with the name also as var. So what I'm going to do, you have a quick overview of this. So you will type context is equal to my dictionary. Now you are passing on variable var. So this is your variable. Basically this has a data on the right side, value, and on the key side you are naming the name which is going to be rendered on the front end part. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to declare h1 heading, and to initialize the value of the variable I'm going to type var. Okay, this looks good. Now I will refresh this page. Now it says hello world. So this is pretty cool. Now what I can do also, I'll have another variable greeting, and I'm saying, hey, how are you? So this would greet the user, but this time I'm going to pass with the name message. So this would help you to understand. So this can be so what I'm telling, greeting is a variable of data type string. So this is the value greeting, and what name I'm going to pass it with the message name. So when I move to the third.html, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use message here, and now this message basically has the greeting variable inside it. So this would print the value on the front end application part. So say it says, hey, how are you? Oh, this looks pretty cool. Now I'm going to define a list of fruits, basically apple, mango, and banana, and I'm going to pass these fruits using a key value pair. So basically I'm going to pass it with the name my fruits. So this would pass these fruits which has a data type of list or array, you can say, and I am going to pass it with the name my fruits on the front end part. And when I move here, I'll create an unordered list using a simple for loop. So I would type, okay, before this I would type for each fruit in my fruits I'll simply end this loop using this template and for, and I am going to type the list parameter, and basically each fruit is the value I'm going to print. And you can see the magic here. You can see apple, mango, banana is here, and simply maybe sometime you have a large list in your backend part and you want to print it, you can simply print it using a for loop. So even this you could do this like this. Most of we do it like for I in my fruits, you can simply print I as well. So this would also work. Okay, so you can see here even this also works. So this looks pretty cool. We are done with the for loop as well. Now we are going to work with the if else part. So in the views.py you can see I'll declare a variable. It could be of any type, and basically it could be of any type. What you can do is like I can have a brief overview. This is how we use like if, elif, else, and if. So in order to end anything you need to type if elif, else, and end if. So what we can do, okay, we are going to take two numbers, num1 comma num2 is equal to 3 and 5. So what we are going to do, and we are going to take a variable answer, and that answer is going to be, what we can do is, answer is going to be num1 is greater than num2. So before this I would print the answer on my console. So what I'm going to do is going to refresh this page. This URL will call that views.py, and it says false. So you can here see it says false because num1 has the value 3 and the num2 has the value 5, and is 3 greater than 5? No. So this gets the value as false, and this prints the answer on my console. So I would comment this out, and I would render answer as answer and num1 as num1, okay, and also num2 as num2. So this should work. I'll see. Okay, now you can see, so okay, this is going to be rendered. So num1 is being passed as num1, num2 answer. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use an if condition. If answer, and I'm going to use an else part as well, else, and if. Okay, so you can see this is the same syntax I'm using. So this time I'm only using an if, else, and if only. If an answer is right, this means what I meant in my views.py file, that if this is true, then num1 is greater. If else it's false, then num2 is greater. Then you will type num1 is greater than, okay, we can even do this like this also. What we can do, we'll use curly braces. Num1 is greater than num2. So this looks good. And the else part, we are going to the reciprocal of it. I'll change this as num2 is greater than num1. Okay, so this is my if else part, and I'll move to my page, and if this says 5 is greater than 3, because I had mentioned in the views.py file, okay, if I change these two numbers as any random numbers, I'll take this as to 10 and I'll take this as 7. So this will work. Maybe this should work. And okay, yeah, it says 10 is greater than 7 because I have created a backend logic, and I'm using that backend logic in my front end part as well. So in the previous I showed you 5 is greater than 3. Now I'm showed you 10 is greater than 7. So you can use this backend logic on the views.py part to render it and show it in your front end part. So thank you so much, guys. I'll catch up you in the next lecture. So thank you, guys.
7 tutorial of our Django series. So like in the previous tutorial, I showed you how you can work with the front end part of your application, how you can use Django template engine. So this tutorial is going to be very interesting. We are going to work with images on this tutorial. So I will tell you how you can work with images within Django. So this is going to be an interesting tutorial. So let's get started with this. So first thing I need to do, you need to move to your settings.py file. So I'll move to settings.py file, and inside my settings.py file, what you need to do, you need to define a static URL which is going to be static, and you need to define static files directory is equal to os.path.join base directory with the static folder. So what here I'm actually mentioning that I've made a static folder, and here it is, and inside my static folder I have two images, django.png and python.png. So I would be using these two images, and what I'm going to show you what you need to do. So this is the static folder which I'm referring, which I also showed you into VS Code. I'm showing here for a better experience for view for it. And inside my static folder I have two images, one is Django and another is Python. So I'm referring to this particular static folder, and to refer this particular static folder you need to move into your settings.py file, and you need to define this heading, sorry, this piece of code. Okay, so first I'll create a route. So I'll move to my urls.py file, and I am going to define path my image page. Okay, and I'm going to define a views dot my image page, and I'll give this a name is equal to my image page. So this is going to be interesting. Okay, now my image page, I've defined my image page here. Okay, and I'll define a function inside my views, my image page, and I have given a name here, it is on my image page also. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to define a view. Okay, I'll define a view, define my image page, which takes request as a parameter. Good. And it will return and render an HTML page request, and that's name is going to be image page dot html. So this is pretty fine. Okay, the server has been reloaded. Okay, so this looks pretty fine till now. And inside my templates folder I'll create a new template. I'll click here, new file, image page dot html. Okay, this is fine now. Okay, now to create an image page.html, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take any of the pages here. Okay, and I'll copy this quickly. Okay, now what you need to do, I'll define this as okay, sorry for this. I'll define this as, you can define any name, image page. Okay, so and what you need to do, I'll open this text file. So this is the syntax how you can load an static image. So what you need to define, you need to define %load static inside your build template. So below this line I'll define %load static, %load static, and I'll refer to this image. Okay, I'll remove this. Okay, from here what I'm going to tell you that this is a Bootstrap, and here what you need to do, you will learn about images. So here I'll type images. So this is the responsive class of Bootstrap we are going to use, which will help us to make our image responsive. So this is going to be very interesting. So what you can do, you can define div class is equal to container fluid. Okay, and what I'm going to do next, I'll define a row. We will be learning Bootstrap in the upcoming lectures as well. So this I'll give a short idea how you can create a responsive page. So this is going to be interesting. div class is equal to row, and inside the row I have a container, then a row inside my container, then inside my row I have a column. Div class is equal to call md6. Okay, now I'm going to quickly copy this, so how you can use this class. So this class image fluid refers to the responsive CSS which has been already written inside the Bootstrap to make our image responsive on multiple devices. And to define the image source, I'll use a curly brace, then %sign, then again a %sign, and inside my %sign I'll give space static, and I'll define the image name using single quotes. So let me define Django .png. So this looks pretty fine here, Django.png, and you can give any name here. Okay, so I'll just close the server, then restart my server. Okay, the server has started and I have no issue here. So I'll go to my localhost. Yeah, it's running, and I'll give my image page. Okay, so this is throwing me an error which says the current path. Okay, let me check my URL. Oh, I didn't save this. Okay, yes, now it's working. Yeah, here you can see. So you can see the image has been successfully loaded. So this looks pretty good. You can also use in your HTML page, what you can do, you can also use python.png. So this also works. So this looks pretty fine. And now what I'm going to show you, Django.png. So I'll move to Django.png, and so I'll give you a brief intro. So now you'll right click on this and click inspect, and when you click on inspect, so this is a container fluid, then this is a row. Inside there is a column of width medium 6, that on the medium devices it will have a width of 6. The Bootstrap has a total width of 12, so we're going to learn that. And this image source is this particular image. So we can play with the inspector tools. What we can do, we can use background is equal to red. Let me sorry for this. Okay, like this is our row, so I'll type background is equal to red. Now you can see a row which was also equivalent to the container fluid has a background red. And what we can do, this is a column, we'll align this image in the center and type margin 0 auto. Okay, so now you can see the image has been aligned to the center. So let me check. Okay, there might be some not exactly, but might be some issue, but we'll rectify this in the upcoming lecture, how we can resolve this. So now the point is, when I move to a different devices, since I had used image fluid as a class, I move to Galaxy S5. You can see the navbar collapses itself and the image is being responsive. I can move to iPhone X, image being responsive. So this is going to be very helpful in the responsive design than iPhone 5. And I close this, and the best part is when I refresh this page, it's all gone. So because that was temporary, to make this permanent, you need to define the CSS in your HTML page, and I'll define as margin 0 auto. Okay, so when I go to this page, refresh, now this is permanent. So this is pretty cool. So in the next tutorial, I'm going to work with the images, so that would really help you. So guys, thank you so much. So you can go to our repository, have a look at the source code, and next tutorial we are also going to work with the images. Then we will also try in the next tutorial how we can work. First I will let you know about the Bootstrap, how we can work with the Bootstrap and using images. Then we are going to use the if-else logic, how we can render multiple images on a single page using an if-else logic. So that's going to be very interesting, guys. I'll catch you up in the next lecture. Thank you guys, thank you so much.
So in the previous tutorial we were working with images. So in this tutorial we are also going to continue working with images, and I will tell you how you can show images on the front end part of our application in a as well. So today we are going to work with images. So in the previous tutorial I showed you how to show an image, and I applied some Bootstrap classes to show that image on the HTML page. So today, before we start, we are going to basically have an overview of the Bootstrap grid system. So in this grid system, I will show you that there are some predefined classes with extra small, small, medium, large, and extra large. And this is the syntax for them: call SM, call MD, call LG, and call XL for the respective classes. And for extra small, we don't need to define anything. With the practical implementation, we'll get to know. One thing you need to observe in this, that the Bootstrap container has a column width of total 12 columns. So what you need to do, you can define columns either in the multiple, you need to define them in the multiple of 12. Like either you can define, for an example, a column of width 4, then again 4, then again 4, or then 6 and again 6, because 4 plus 4 plus 4 is equal to 12, and again 6 plus 6 is equal to 12 also. Or if you want to define any other ratio, you can define a column of the width 10 and the next with the 2, because 10 plus 2 is equal to 12. And this way you can define a column width of 12 columns by defining them and giving a proportion with your desire, what you want to give to your front-end application. So this is a syntax how you can have make columns plus rows. So we will have some idea. Yeah, this was what I was explaining, that the total width of the column is 12. So what you can do, like here it has been mentioned, the first is of column 8 and another is of column 4. So this was total about 12, and this was a total width of 12, and this would help you. And Bootstrap manages you to help have responsive design of your application. Like in the previous tutorial I showed you how you can render an image using Bootstrap, and with how you can render an image with Django. Then with the help of Bootstrap classes, how you can make it responsive. So let's get started with this tutorial. So I would tell you, first I would go to my VS Code editor, then I would run my server with the command python manage .py run server. So this would start the server on my local machine. And what we can do till the time I can show you one thing. So this is our template which we had made it yesterday. So I would move to the localhost server. So what you can do, this is my local server. So I would move to a route with the name I had defined in the previous tutorial. So I would move to my urls.py file, and my image page I had defined. So I would move to that route, my image page. Okay, you can see an image had been already uploaded on this route and on this page. So basically I showed you how you can see the responsive design. You can press Ctrl Shift I, or you can right click and go to inspect. So this will lead you to Chrome Developer Tools, and from here you can see the responsive design of your application. Like iPhone X shows this way, and iPhone 6, then Pixel 2 XL, then Galaxy S5. So this shows the responsive design. So one thing you notice, as soon as I was on a big screen, the nav bar used to had expanded view, but as soon as I moved to a small screen, so you can see that the nav bar had been collapsed. So this is the beautiful nature of Bootstrap. So this would help you in designing your front-end application. So today what I'm going to do, I'm going to define a path, my image page 2, and in views.py file I'll also define views.myImage page 2 with the name is equal to my image page 2. Okay, so this looks pretty fine. So inside my views.py file I'll quickly copy this
and I'll paste it here. And one changes I need to make my image page 2, and it will have image page 2.html as well. So inside my templates I need to define image page 2.html. Okay, I will move to my templates folder. Okay, so here's my, so this is my image.html. I'll quickly copy this, control, I'll paste it here, and image page 2. Okay, this looks pretty fine. Okay, so till the time what I'll do, I'll remove this code and I'll save it as my image page 2.html. So this looks pretty fine, and I will move to my image page 2. Okay, so it says my uh, image page 2.html does not exist. Oh, I made a mistake here, so I'll rename it as image page 2. Sorry for the error. Now I'll quickly refresh this page. Oh yeah, here it is. So this is image page 2. So what I'm going to show you the beautiful nature of Bootstrap here. So this is a container fluid which you'll always mention. Then inside this container fluid I have a row. Then now I'm telling my Bootstrap to divide this row into two columns, div class, okay, and div class is equal to call md6, and I'm also defining another column of width 6 because I told you that Bootstrap will have 6 plus 6 is equal to 12 as a column width. So I'll also define another column, div class is equal to call md6, and this would, now this you can see, now I have a column of 6 width each, and this would sum up to 12. Now I told you yesterday that this is the syntax you are going to use, because I told you that I have a static folder. Inside there are two images. So in order to load images from the static folder, first you will define person load static, and then you need to define the syntax with the person static side, person static with the image name, and person again with the curly brace. So I'll quickly copy this, and this image fluid is a Bootstrap class which helps you to make a responsive page. Okay, in this first line I would put this image. Okay, so this is the image I'm going to put, and one shortcut you can see, I can right click here and click format document with HTML language feature. So what will it do? It will format my source code, and it will help you to better maintain the indentation of the code. And in the next I'll copy this. So since I'm showing you a demo, we had done this in the previous tutorial, how to load and static image. So let me give another image that was python.png. So I'll give this a name as a python.png, and I will move to my page and refresh this page. So you can see now I'll quickly I'll click inspect and I'll show you. Let me do this. Uh, Okay, so you can see here, I'll have an expansion view. This is my row. Or okay, this is not you. This would pretty help you to have a clear understanding how Bootstrap works. This is my container, and this is my navbar. Okay, this is the navbar. This is the container. I go inside a row. So this was my row. Then a column of width 6. You can, the left portion is my column of 6. Then this is the image. Okay, this is the column of width 6. Okay, then I move to the second column of width 6. Here it is. This was the second column of width 6, and this is the first column of width 6. First, second, and that was the image. But now as soon as I change my display, I move to a Galaxy S5. See the magic? Yeah, it automatically collapses the image, and it helps you to make design much responsive. So you need to inspect element in order to learn about this. So this is again called md6 6 width, and this is the 6 of called MD6 in the another. So we are going to continue with this in the next lecture as well. I'll tell you how you can render images and how what would be the responsive design of your application. So I'll catch you up in the next lecture. So thank you guys, thank you so much, and yeah, thank you guys. Ninth tutorial, and we're going to work with images. So this is going to be very interesting tutorial and going to be very a quick one. So so I will tell you that in this tutorial I've already defined a path with my image page 3, and already defined a function in views.py file, and already defined an HTML page. So I would directly operate on this, so you can check out the code on the GitHub repository as well. So what we are going to do, yeah, you can see here, you can see my this is my views.py file, and I've already defined my image page 2, page 3, page 4. So what we are going to do, we are going to start our local server, which is already started, and inside my local server I would move to this route, my image page 3. So I'll show you some interesting fact about this. So this is our image page, and here you can see that I have defined a row. Okay, I have defined a row, and above that I have defined a container fluid with the heading image page 3, and inside the row there are 4 columns of width medium 3 each. So here you can see 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is equal to 12, and this satisfies our basic requirement of the Bootstrap column query. So here it shows 12 columns. So here you can see 3 3 3 3 is equal to 12, and as soon as I press Ctrl Shift I, you can see okay, and here you can see that this is the source code. Okay, and let me right click and click inspect. Yeah, here it is, row column width of 3 3 3 3, and this is on medium device. As soon as I click on Galaxy S5, it will all collapse and will move up to a scroll view, and this would bring the responsive nature. Okay, let me move to the image page 4.html. This is where going to be very interesting. Here you can see the key difference. You need to observe a key difference here, that here I had defined medium 3 MD. I had defined a class inside the Bootstrap, which was defined in the grid system as well. I'll show you in the grid system. Yeah, here it is. This was small SM MD LG XL. When I have not defined any class, whether it is medium MD SM small XL extra large, I have all I'll move to this. Here you can see I have defined medium in this my image page 3.html, but now when I move to my image page 4.html, I have not defined any class. So here you can see the gap. So there I have not defined any class here. So you can have a view for it. So this is called MD3, and this is only called 4. You can make it as 3 as well. This is called 4, or okay. So when here 4 plus 4 plus 4 is equal to 12, and now when I move to my image page 4, okay, this is my image page 4. Here you can see this is 4. I'll click on inspect. Okay, okay, I'll show you one thing. This is row 4 4 4. Okay, but I told you that I have not defined any class here, whether it is medium, small, extra large. Now when I move to Galaxy S5, here you can see the magic. Now here it also stays as 4 4 and 4. So this wizard up to 12, and this was the difference I wanted to show you in the my image page 4.html, that here I have not defined, like this is page 3, I have not defined any class here. Sorry, in this I have defined a class. In my image page 3.html I have defined a class, but image page 4.html I have not defined any class. And when I move to my uh, uh, image page 4.html, this is 4 plus 4 plus 4, but as soon as I move to a smaller device, it still remains 4 4 4. It does not collapse. So this is that for every device you want this structure, then you don't define a class, then Bootstrap will automatically maintain this structure. Okay, now we are going to do one small exercise. This is going to be quick. Okay, I'll define my image page 5. Okay, I'll be quick with this. Image page 5. Okay, now I'll move to my templates. Okay, I'll move to my templates. This is my template. I'll quickly copy this, paste it here. Image page 5.html. This is image page 5.html. I'll quickly wrap up this content inside the row. I'm already okay, and I'm already left with the row. And inside my views.py file, okay, now inside my views.py file, I'll define my image page 5. I'll copy this, and here you can see, and this is going to be 5, and this is 4. Okay, and this is going to be 5, and I'll change the heading here. So this here you can see, this is the benefit of using Blade template engine. You can quickly define your templates. Okay, now I'll move to 5. Okay, now this looks fine. This is an empty page. Okay, but now inside my urls.py file, I will be taking a string parameter with the image name. Okay, I'll be taking a string parameter with the image name, and inside my views.py file, if you have any doubt regarding how you take parameter inside a URL, you can refer to my previous tutorial. So image name is going to be my new parameter. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'll define a variable image name will take this parameter image name. Okay, let me define this as my image name. Okay, and if okay, and I'll perform another operation, my image name. This is a simple Python function I'm using. My image name dot first what I'll do is I'm going to typecast this as a string parameter, and I'll use my image name dot lower, and I'll first print this my image name. Okay, this is pretty fine. Okay, this looks pretty fine. Okay, now I'll move to my image page 5, and I'll type Django. Okay, so here you can see I have printed Django on my local machine. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to define a dictionary. Okay, before this, or maybe what we can do, okay, I'll take a variable var, and I'll give it a default value, or we can do one thing. If my image name is equal to Django, then var is equal to true. Elif my image name is equal to Python var is equal to false. Okay, or you can do or maybe or let me you can do one thing, var is equal to false. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create my dictionary, and I'll pass var as var. Okay, now context is equal to my dictionary. Okay, this looks pretty fine till here, and I'll save this. So my server is running. Okay, now when I'll move to my image page 5.html, so what I'm going to do is I'll quickly copy the image syntax here. What I'm going to trying to do, I'll show you that this is uh, you can copy this. Okay, okay, yeah, this is fine, and I'll define as 12. Okay, for your convenience you can use it as for md12, and in another one, but before this I'll type %if var. I'll use this block, else else I'll use this block, and I'll end this with the end if person and if. Okay, this looks pretty fine, and I'll copy this and quickly paste it here. Okay, first I need to check my backend part. What was it? I'll move to my use.py file. If var is equal to true, then I need to be true, then I need to get the Django image. If var is equal to false, I need to get a Python image. Okay, so this is fine, and this would be python.png. Okay, so this looks pretty fine and looks interesting as well. Okay, now I would type Django. So here you can see I got the Django image, and Python, yeah, I got a Python image. So this looks pretty fine, and here what I'm going to show you, that this is the magic I want to tell you, that I can render two images on a single route. Maybe I'll type Django with the capital letters. Okay, here it is come, because I had used the functions lower. I'll move to my push.py file. Okay, I'll close other things and open my views.py file. Okay, I had used the lower function. Okay, if my image name is equal to Django, var is equal to true, else it's false. Okay, so maybe when I type Python with capital letters, I'll get this. So this looks pretty awesome. You can maybe I can do also type this as capital D small Django and capital G and small o Django. This also works, so this is great. So here I told you that with simple backend logic you can render multiple images on your front-end application. So guys, I'll catch up you in the next lecture. So thank you guys, and once again welcome to Programming Knowledge. So today we are going to work with the forms. So this is a 10 tutorial. If you have any doubt regarding the architecture structure of Django, you can refer to our previous tutorials as well. So first thing, now let's get started with this. So forms are made for the user input. So forms are usually made according to your demand and requirement. Today we'll create a form, and then we'll use forms, and then what we are going to do, we are going to integrate the front end part of our form. Today we'll create a responsive form layout, and then we'll integrate the back end part of our logic with the front end part. So we are going to create a we'll see how we can integrate forms, then we'll see how we can submit forms using the one with the request method and one with the post method. Then we will figure out the difference, what the difference between the two. So let's get started with this. So today, so this is my project. So first I will run my server. So I'll type python manage.py run server, and I will move to my local host. So I'll refresh this page, so the server will get started. So yeah, here you can see the server has started. So what we are going to do today, so what we are going to do, first I'll create a path, the URL path. I'll create my form. Okay, and I'll create a view with the name views dot my form, and I'll give this URL a name is equal to my form as well. Okay, that looks pretty fine. So first I will create a form, and so I'll move to my views.py file. Okay, so here's my views.py file. So what I'm going to do, I'll define a view, define my form, and it'll take a request as a parameter, and I'll render an HTML page. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to type return, okay, return render request, and I'll make an HTML page, my form.html. So this looks pretty fine. So what I need to do, so I need to define my form.html inside my template page. Okay, I'll move to my templates. So I'll create a new file, my form.html. So this looks pretty fine. So what we are going to do today, so this is a my form.html page. So I have defined a few links. We can move to this link, and what we can do, we'll move to this link, and what we can do, we'll look how we can create responsive forms using Bootstrap. So this is going to be very good. So we can see how we can create responsive forms using Bootstrap, and what we are going to do. So this is like a box container with an email address, then a password, then check me out, submit. We can create a form like this only, and this is another one, email address, example, select. So this is a select option with the drop down behavior. So this is a text area, and this is a form with an input type is equal to file. So here you can see this is input type is equal to file. So why I'm telling you all this, because this will make you habitual with what kind of widgets we have to work with the form. Then this is all about sizing, and this is this is select, and this is read only. You can read this only, no edit allowed here. Then read only plain text. So this is how we do. So this is one of the range inputs. This is works with the slider behavior. Then others are checkbox, and this is disable checkbox, then default radio, second default radio, disable radio, and inline. So we have very much decent type amount of parameters to work with. And then this is a form group. So this is form grid, this form row. I'll explain all this how you can make a form, and we'll start this from scratch, because this is going to be very one of the important parts. And let's get started with designing our front end part. So first I'll do, I'll simply pick any template, and I'll paste this, because I have to extend my index.html to my form page. So I'll change this name, my form. Okay, now, okay, I'll remove this line. Okay, and I'll give a heading h1. Let me give a heading, my form. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my localhost and type /my form. Okay, so this is my form. So I've defined the heading to make sure that the template is working. So what I can do next is I'll move to this page, and what you can do, you can have a simple layout. Okay, you can have any of the simplest layout. Let's start with the simple one. So we'll pick this. Okay, or if you want me to, we'll make this from scratch. Okay, first what you need to define, you need to define a form group. So we'll define a form group. So for first we will define a div. class is equal to container fluid. Okay, this is a container. Then inside this we need to define a row. Then I'll define a column called medium of size 6, or you can say width 6. Then I need to define a form. Okay, so this will pretty fine. Now what do you need to define inside of, you need to define a div class is equal to form group. So I'll use this div class is equal to form group. Okay, so what do you need to do? So I'll use another. Okay, let's get proceed with this. So you can see that for two inputs there are one div class is equal to form group and another is also div class is equal to form group. So suppose we are having two inputs, div class is equal to form group. So here you can see I have a container, then a row, then a column of medium width 6, then a form, then I have two form groups. This means I'm going to define two inputs. So one is input type is equal to text. I'll give this ID as my text and name is equal to my text as well. And I'll define what you can see. They have defined input type is equal to email, class is equal to form control. So I'll define this class to this because this class is necessary, form control. Okay, so this looks pretty fine, and I define a label for my form. So here you can see they must define a label for. So I'll define a label, my text, okay, this looks pretty fine. And what we can do, I'll go to this page. Okay, so here it is a form. So but right now there's no such alignment, so I'll go to inspect. Okay, when I move to my inspect, I'll go to div class with call md6 and I'll try some CSS out here. So I'll do margin 0 auto. So this looks pretty fine. My form gets to the center. Okay, I'll do this. Style is equal to margin 0 auto, and with the same I'll do with the heading as well. So I'll try the CSS on this as well. This is my heading. So let's do something text align is equal to center. Okay, this looks pretty fine, and I'll give a little bit of a margin. Sorry, I'll give margin top, and I'll use a relative unit, and this is in terms of rem. So you can simply either you can copy the CSS, and this is a key shortcut. You can work with this, and I'll put a style tag here, and I'll paste the CSS here. So this looks pretty fine. So and I'll right click here and I'll say format document. Okay, this format document. Oh, this isn't working. I'll check if something is okay. And I have defined a heading, and I'll do some changes. Okay, I'm having some issue with this. Okay, now this is fine, right? Yes. So I have a heading. Okay, now this looks pretty fine, and you can see I have a form with my text, and I'll do the same. Okay, I'll copy this quickly. Okay, I will define a text area. So this is a text area. So what we can do, so this is a text area, and we have defined rows for it, for how much rows we want. So we'll quickly do this. Okay, let's do this. Text area class is equal to form control. Okay, rows is equal to 3. Okay, before this I'll give an ID to it. ID sorry, id my text area, and as well as a name to it. Name is equal to I'll give this a name as well, my text area. Okay, this looks pretty fine, and I'll close this text area so it automatically closes it, and I'll define a label for my text area, and this was going to be my text. Okay, I'll use a capital M and a capital T. So this looks pretty fine, and when I move to my page, okay, this looks pretty fine. So this is the form we have made, and we'll now test the responsiveness of this form. So what we are going to do, we are going to press Ctrl Shift I, or you can simply press inspect, right click, inspect, then we'll use a layout. Okay, now you can see the beauty of Bootstrap. So you can see iPhone 5, a responsive form is here, iPhone 6, iPad, okay, this Galaxy S5. So this is the responsive nature of a form. So, and this is, you can see Pixel 2, and here you can see that this is our form being responsive. So this is a beautiful nature of Bootstrap. So thank you guys, thank you so much. So I'll catch up in the next tutorial. We will integrate this front end part of our form with the backend part. So thank you guys.